At number 3, Eren Yeager. The main protagonist turned antagonist because he wanted freedom but became the devil to achieve it. Manipulated time, friends, and fate to save Paradise. Killed by Mikasa, his best friend and possibly the one he loved, he had such a tragic fall from a hopeful boy to a genocidal god, which makes his death one of the most emotionally complex in the anime. Even in killing him, his will ultimately lived, allowing the Eldians to be free from oppression. It hurt seeing the boy we grew up with become a villain, which brought a split between the fan base as to whether or not he was right or wrong. Even his friends couldn't justify his behavior, which is the reason they fought so hard to stop the rumbling, realizing that even though they were oppressed, this solution was far worse than anything they could have come up with. But seeing him die, knowing he thought he made the best decision with all the possible outcomes, made us conflicted yet understanding of him as a whole. At number 2, let's talk about Carla, who is Eren's mother, a warm and loving parent who just wanted her son to live a peaceful life until she was crushed under a rubble and devoured by a titan, also known as Dina Fritz. Her death was the inciting incident of the entire story in Eren's trauma. When I tell you, I stopped watching this show after this scene because it was way too gruesome. It took me about 3 weeks to pick this story back up because that was scary as fuck. I had to get used to seeing these titans, and seeing his mother get eaten by one of them felt damn near demonic. But I pushed forward, just like he wanted me to. It also becomes painfully ironic later that we learn that Eren himself ensured it would happen, and that was a tough pill, knowing how far Eren would go to make sure his people would never feel this type of oppression ever again. And that just makes her death even more complex, knowing that her own son would sacrifice the people in his very life just in order to make sure the people of Eldia were free. And at number 1, Erwin Smith. He was a brilliant leader who gave everything for humanity, yet died without seeing the truth he chased for all his life. Literally, this is the man who got everyone to rally around protecting the Eldians. He was so convincing that even though all the scouts knew that running towards the Beast Titan was a suicide mission, they did it simply because they believed in Erwin and Erwin completely. And with that alone, he is considered one of the greatest commanders in all of anime. Even though that charge did solidify him as one of the greatest, his final act of leadership was even better. Making him choose to bring back Armin was possibly the greatest sacrifice he could have done. Even on the brink of death, he was selfless and still made the right decision. Nothing greater than his sacrifice for humanity.